Dictator of Life with Dictator of Art. Chapter 3, Soft Erotic.
Welcome back to the Dictator of Life podcast. It's February, we've made it. I hope you all have been doing well. I hope you have been enjoying life and all the beautiful thing it has to give. As you can see here, we're at another location. This is the second time we are filming. As you guys can hear or see from the title of this podcast, it's called Soft Erotic, Chapter 3. Amazing, eh? I've just done the photo shoot, so now you guys are gonna get the aftermath of it right now. But first, a credit to all the people that worked hard on this edition. 𝗏𝗏 for the makeup and hair, the beautiful makeup and hair. 𝗏𝐢𝐦 for the video work, filming everything, capturing the essence of the shoot. Lola Schwartz, our amazing photographers for this edition. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And more importantly, this time, as you guys can see, there's a little bit of space next to me. We have a very, very, very special guest. It's one of my soul sisters, my friend, my sister I can call her, and someone that truly understands me and has been part of my journey since I even started. So I would like to welcome Kim on a quest. Kim Bogaert, come here, honey.
Hi.
Hello, darling. You look amazing. Well, for those who know, we just did the photo shoot, so we basically just changed clothes and we are right now in this position. So, Kim, welcome to the Dictator of Life podcast. Oh my God, you look amazing. How do you feel?
I actually feel very empowered because it's a photo shoot. I think it's very awkward sometimes to pose. It's not something I naturally like, I think, but I have to say I enjoyed it. I really like the body. I like the shape. I think bodies are fascinating and they're not lying. Body language is such a powerful thing, and yeah, I think we really captured it. So yeah.
Amazing. Well, Kim, as you know me already for 5 years or even more than that, I think.
Yeah.
But it feels like I know you longer than 5 years. And many of you may not know, but I met Kimmy at my school, my theater school, so the Maastricht Institute of Performative Arts. And that's where I encountered you. But even before that, apparently, we went to the same pre-bachelor program, a theater program in Utrecht.
True.
We went to the same thing, but I've never saw her because she was a year above me. So up until we were in Maastricht, that's when I actually met Kimmy. And it took some time first before our relationship, our bond got stronger. But when it became stronger, it was like magic immediately. We're like inseparable the whole time, always together. And yeah, you want to say something about that, of our union in a way?
Yeah, I think I adopted you, right? I was like, this poor boy, I need to adopt him. We have families, and I just felt like, I don't know, there was something about you, and I was like, he knows what he's doing, and he's all different, he's in a different game, but I want to find out what game he's playing. And yeah, I think we're both a little bit sometimes in our own worlds, but somehow it really merges with each other, and we really respect each other. We have a very loving connection and a very empowering connection. So we like to challenge each other on different levels. I feel this is your way of challenging me, and I think I'm challenging you more in like emotional, spiritual ways.
Certainly. Oh Lord, yes. Yes, emphasis on that one. But yeah, it's been nice.
I'm a Scorpio.
You are a Scorpio, and I'm an Aquarius. Apparently that works together. But Kim, you go by the name of Kim on a Quest. Would you like to share very shortly what Kim on a Quest represents?
Yeah. Okay, so Kim on a Quest is a YouTube channel. I started not so long ago, and I have to give you some credit for this because you dragged me out of my hole. I had this plan for a very, very, very long time, and you actually saw it taking shape in me. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗧 is a YouTube channel which is about, I'm an inner world traveler. She is an inner world traveler, and she's exploring the realms of consciousness and how can we expand our consciousness, and who are we as humans? What are we capable of? So yeah, it's a whole journey, and I just like to take people with me.
I'm very, very honored and inspired, and every day you inspire me to do even better. So yes, I may get credit for it, but I think also it was your inner power that was already in you, and you just had to tap into it. So I'm very, very proud of you, and it's an honor basically to have you as my first guest here on the Dictator of Life podcast. It felt immediately right. It was like
I'm also so proud of you, and I think this is so important to have friends like this who see some spark in you, and they manage to extract it, bring it to the surface, and I wanted to take a moment to say that I'm really proud of you, and I'm really thankful that you do this to me, and same.
Yeah,
of course.
It's vice versa. We help each other, we support each other. So let's go immediately into it, Kimmy. First of all, we just experienced something magical, something sensual in a way, erotic even. As you guys can see, I still have my nails here. And of course, the elephant in the room, the wig. Those are all, reminiscence of our photo shoot we just did, which was magical. It was nice to be in your aura, let's say in your sensual aura, to literally be in your body.
Almost in me.
Almost in you, basically. Now, they'll see the video, so don't worry, they'll see it. But it was an honor to be in there with you, and it just felt right. I had this journey in my body, in my life of sensuality and intimacy, and it was nice to share that with you, and you also allow yourself to feel and be in my aura, in my sensual magic, my sensual goddess energy at that moment. So we are going to tackle something interesting today. Today we are going to ask ourselves the pivotal question, and that is, what stands in the way of us to be sensually and sexually liberated? And what stands in the way of us giving ourselves all the love that we give others back to ourselves? What do you think about that question, Kimmy?
Whew. Okay. What stands in the way?
Perhaps it may be right to start first with, what is sensuality and sexuality for you?
Yeah, so sensuality to me has to do with, of course, the senses. So we have different senses, and I really feel that, if I talk from my own experience, because that's the only thing I can do, I really feel that I have been in survival mode for a very long time, and when you are in survival mode, and especially this society is in survival mode, in a rat race, constantly stressing, you're not capable of feeling a lot of things because you're very focused on actually danger. That's why you're in survival mode, because there's some stress. So sensuality is like the richness of life to me, the richness of really feeling into it, really feeling, hearing, smelling, seeing something. And you can only do that, or I could only do that, when I got out of the survival mode, when I had my nervous system finally regulated, and I could surrender to the moment, be in the moment. That to me is like true sensuality, and it gives a richness to life to be able to experience it more deeply. And sexuality to me, I thought about this because the definition is like something about sexes, so it's more about the feminine and the masculine. But I feel like when we talk about feminine and masculine, maybe I see it this way. It's more like the feminine and the masculine energies merging together, and that creates life force if we look at like Kundalini and everything. So sexuality is maybe life force energy, creative energy to me. And if you channel that towards the things you love, the things you like, it also enriches your life. It turns on that life force energy even more, so you can live more of life. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I find it very interesting that you said the part of sensuality has to do with the senses, because like sensuality, senses, it's in the word basically. And I find that very interesting because it resonates with me as well. When I think about sensuality, I think about, the feeling. The word feeling comes out, feeling, and that's a feeling that you can have for yourself and as well with others, of course. You can feel it together. But I feel like sensuality is more to me something intimate for yourself in a way. Like I feel like you are at the door, at the bridge of allowing yourself to feel those things. You have a control over that, and it's a whole jump and a whole journey to get to that point, to allow yourself to feel that love, to feel that sensuality, all of that into your body. And with sexuality, of course, as you said, it's a life-forming life. I think about also like that, it's a procreation in a way. It is that in a way, because why we do it is to procreate, Of course, it's also for pleasure, which we will go into.
I think it's not only procreation, is not only like in intercourse, it's everything you do is a creation you create. It's not, and that it involves life force energy to create something. And I feel we sometimes reduce it in society towards the sexual act, the intercourse. Yeah. But I feel we're constantly creating and we're constantly creative. And that's, it's so powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely understand. Yes, indeed. It's like we have to, in a way, redefine the word and redefine the meaning of the word, because we all think it just has to do immediately with sexual acts, intercourse, go jam it right in, in a way. But it's not actually that. It's something more deeper. And once we start to treat it in a way more as a ritual, a sacred thing, because we're constantly doing it, as you said, we're creating all the time, basically, I think that could redefine everything a little bit. But let's go more into deep in the way of... I'm going to go more personal, because I think I would like to dive into it together. What stands in the way of your sensuality and sexuality? I know that a lot of traumas and all of that can take place. For me, example, I'm pretty much open about it, people. So, elephant in the room. No, I'm not going to put any alert or anything. But I've had, sexual harassment, that sort of thing, sexual acts, sexual crimes done to me back in the day, sexual assault, as you can see, and that reprogrammed my brain to a different way of feeling sensual and sexual in a way, and that redefined my whole way of seeing love actually in its whole. And for me, it was a whole journey of, reprogramming myself and getting back to my center, because I think that we are born already sometimes with the ability to feel sensual and feel sexual, and it's like life throws things at us that stands in the way, which is not bad, because we need to grow, we need to learn, and that is our journey to get back to that center, to get back to that version of us. So what stands in your way, would you say, that held you back in the day, or even now still, when it comes to sensuality and sexuality?
First of all, I think for me it is important to also speak on love, because we're talking about love now, and I've had an experience, which I will also share in my videos, in which I really experienced what love is, and it defined my whole outlook on love differently. And I feel that we as humans, or as a society, put very much conditions on what is love. But I now think love is without conditions. It's not without boundaries, no, don't get me wrong, but it is some life force energy from which everything is made of. It is the fabric of life. It is in everyone, in everything, and I feel that is love, and it's always there. We're not always only allowing it, or we're sometimes really choosing to step out of love. And it's not something you can own. It's just it is there. It is universal.
You cannot grasp it. It's
language.
not something you can touch or anything. It's just
no, you cannot define it or anything. So I would love to make this clear that this is my vision from which I speak about love. And what held me back was actually what was exactly the question?
The question was, what's that stood in your way back in the day when it comes to your sensuality and your sexuality? Maybe that still may be the case?
I think what stood in the way of me sensing more, of me stepping into my sexuality, my life force energy, was limited beliefs I had about myself that were not of love. No, it was a really hard journey for me to love myself, and you've seen me.
Yeah,
you've seen me in the depths of my soul. I have been through depression, which I think it was, and I've had dealt with very much anxiety, which I think fear is just the opposite of love. It's very destructive, and it's keeping you very small.
Yes.
Also what I just said, it's also the nervous system just shuts down, and it's only tuned to danger, and it's not tuned to pleasure. So to really learn about how can I, because I come from a very conservative religious family, how can I take ownership over myself again? I did not learn how to speak about emotions, that you can even have like a big range of emotions, talk about anything actually, but also the development of my identity, of my own self. I always felt such an urge to know more about myself, but I just didn't have the tools when I was young. But that's also been a big trigger, I think, to go to the art school. Is yes, I really had to face these things in which I was destructive, in which I was not loving, in which I was not keeping myself small as well, where my fear was rooted. And these things I feel are, we're talking about sexuality and sensuality, and it has this like this nice, it's nice to say these things, right? It's oh, okay, nice, it's a good topic. But when you really go through your trauma and through your limited beliefs and all these pains, it is not that fluffy, it is not that enjoyable, but it enriched my life to regulate myself more, to feel more, to open my senses more, to feel more safe, to really receive this and to really choose love. And it's a very long answer to your question, maybe, but something like that.
Well, thank you for sharing. I think it's very beautiful what you said as well. That was a whole journey, and it's not, sunshine and rainbows and unicorns, It's a hard truth. And basically every trauma has to do with, first of all, dealing with yourself. It's about you have your own mirror and you have to face yourself, face the fear to begin with. And from then on, you have to reprogram and find back the more healthy pattern that works for you. And in a way, that's part of life. As I said before in previous episodes, that transformation, pain, trauma, and all of things are inevitable. We will experience them, but we have a choice into how we tackle it. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we cannot even control the outcome of it. You have to go through life, and life teaches you the necessary tools in order for you to get better and see better for yourself. Can
I say one more thing?
Yes, of course.
Because also I experienced, hey, I see a ladybug.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, is this a sign?
Oh
no, I'm not gonna be like
well, honey.
Okay, so I also experienced burnout. Yeah. And in my burnout, I could not, it was like a sensory deprivation.
Yes.
And this was actually one of the most beautiful gifts I could have. Because if you're constantly attuned to the world around you and everything just keeps going as it keeps going, you're in the rat race. Let's be honest. You're in the rat race. And all of a sudden, there was nothing for me to do any more than sleep and just be with myself and fully be out of the game. And I would recommend it so much to everyone, because that's really when I noticed how much our senses speak up. I would recommend everybody, no matter how long it is, to have some time to get yourself out of every concept you know, deprivate your senses a little bit, and then go back to a little bit of screen, a little bit of this. Everything has so much stimulation. We are so overstimulated, and when you are able to really slow down, slow the fuck down, you will notice how much already every moment contains. Like, the senses are even deeper, I feel, that's also my journey, than what we are now only sensing. Like, you also have intuition, you have telepathy, you have, I sometimes see auras. It's like, what are our senses even more capable of? But it has, it's like, I wanted to say it has a price, but it's not really like that. It's more deprogramming your mind, decolonizing your mind, of how much consumerism is in, consumerism.
Of energy as well, and stimulation, of course,
Yeah.
It's interesting that you say that you would recommend everyone to have that moment, to be, not stimulated, so understimulated in a way, or closed off in a way. I remember after my sexual trauma, and I even experienced this as a child, by the way, so I had no one. I immediately went into this, I remember this dark void. It was like I was just floating in a very, very deep well without an end, but it was just dark, and I was just there facing myself, facing the emotions and all of that, and there was no one else outside I could reach to, because I was in my own world. And while it did come from something so bad, I did learn a lot from it, and it changed me a lot. It changed my perspective, how I see love, how I see all of those things. So in a way, I don't want to ever say oh my God, it needed to happen. No, but in a way, I know what it was trying to show me, in a way, because of that experience that I had of closed offness and going to my deep self, facing myself, facing that burden in a way at that moment, all of those emotions, the pain, all of those patterns, etc. It awoke a fierce side in me, a side that is more open to receiving and feeling love even. Something that even broadened the definition of love for me, that love is not only, in the sexual, it's also everywhere. It's infinite, we can tap into it. Each time you can choose to tap into it. And yeah, that's why I find it so beautiful that you recommend everyone to do that. But that brings me to the next question. What do you think, and why do you think in society actually that there is this shame on pleasure and sex when we go a little bit more deeper into that area? Because that's a taboo part. We all know that. What we did, honey, you guys will see it in the video. Honey, if we cannot just do this, it's just, this is a safe environment. But what stands in the way? Where do you think that shame comes in society?
Yeah, this is a very deep question, and of course I don't know the answer. I can only speculate and say some things to this, and I know about shame because I have been from this conservative, sectarian-like religious, for the Dutchies, the 𝗵𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪 cannot see anything with witchcraft. Look at me now.
Magic as well. Harry
Magic.
Potter. Oh my god.
I could not watch it. And we couldn't listen to music. We couldn't wear pants, but we could only wear skirts over the knee. But what I saw, because at home we had a television and we hid it behind a mirror, and we also listened to music. I also wore pants, so we kept it a kind of a little bit of a secret. Eventually I left, but what I learned from this is that it was mainly the shame was also part of this fear-based belief structure. And if you could, what's the biggest thing you can manipulate people with, and make them small, make them feel small and not empower? It's fear, actually. And if you can instill that with also shame, it is a super powerful tool to make people obey. And I think that is very dangerous, and I don't only think it is in this specific church. I think it is, unfortunately, in a lot of structures and systems we live in right now. That's my answer.
Yeah, I completely understand that, and it resonates with me 100%. I'm not from the same, let's say, belief background as you. I grew up as Catholic, of course, and Catholic is more open when it comes to, being yourself, etc. It's like an unwritten rule, but we all know that we cannot do it. But for me, of course, it had, an extra layer because, quote unquote, I was gay. So that's even an extra, thing to go through. And the shame is just a fear, basically. It's always a fear, and that's a fear. And for me, it was, at some point, I was like, oh my God, it was even wrong of me to even feel pleasure or desire. I was even punishing me myself. And that's something most people, I guess, from the LGBTQ community, whatever you want to call it, I don't give a shit, the skilled or rainbows community, I don't care. But we experience that, and that's something that it's very hurtful. It's something that you're going to have to work through a program and work to, face. But once you grab it and face that fear and choose, because you have a choice, it teaches you a lesson, but then you have to choose also to commit to it. Once you commit to it, there's a sense of exhilaration and ecstasy that you can fully be yourself. You're liberated, you are free, basically. And I find that so powerful for me. And my shame came even extra, of course, with my background for traumas, etc. So it was an even extra layer that I had to go through. And I find it so interesting that you said, fear, because at the end of the day, that's how they basically trap you. If they can instill fear in you, that's their way of controlling you. And if they can control that, they can control your pleasure, your desire. Those are things that are humanly needed. It's a need for us. We have it naturally. And if you can stand in the way of those natural needs of a human, you can basically control them. And that's...
Yep. Something that also came up while you were talking about being yourself. How many people are actually really themselves, Actually, I think a lot of people still live by the patterns that came from the generations before them. And it's what happens. What happens. If you don't look at it, it will persist. So you grow up in a family. In the first 7 years, your brainwaves are in hypnosis state. So everything you see, everything you feel, it creates you. It creates your beliefs, and that's how you grow up. And if you never look at it, you will become just like your parents or the opposite of your parents because you're choosing to not be like them. But in the end, if you never really look at it, why do I do the things that I do? And it's not only your parents, it's also the collective.
Mm-hmm.
it's also instilling some beliefs in you. You will not live who you really are. So, and I saw this in a reel a couple of times, a couple of weeks ago, that someone said, actually, I think a lot of people are in the closet. It's not only gays. It's a lot of people who are just waiting to come out and express who they truly are, and it's just, it makes me a little bit sad actually but also hopeful, because you only have to open the door. And
the door is not even locked, by the way. The door is not even locked.
Yes, and be curious. Be curious. Why do I do the things that I do? Is it really me? Or is this some belief that I picked up somewhere along the road?
That's very interesting. That brings me immediately to this thought or this question. Do you think that us owning our sensuality and sexuality may be the final last puzzle we need to truly be liberated and feel free? Do you think that has to do when we own it, that we can perhaps find the growth and transformation that we truly want and deserve? And need, even?
To be honest, I don't think we're ever done. I think you can keep transforming, but it's also very important to not get stuck in that loop of constantly wanting to transform. But obviously, it also has to do a lot, I feel, for me at least, with acceptance. Once you accept that something is the way it is, you already placed awareness on it, and it already is changing. Because you're also making different choices from that point on, or at least you are able to choose to make different choices from that moment on. So I don't know. I don't think it's the last thing, but I think you can really enrich your life if you can allow the senses to open more, and to allow that sexual energy to flow more through the body. But what I learned in, for example, Kundalini experiences, Kundalini sessions, is that the energy is turned on, and then somewhere in the body sometimes is a blockage, and it's most of the time an emotion that first have to come out. And sometimes you also get a memory of something, and then it can flow again. But so it's not something you turn on like this. It is sometimes a long process of sometimes easy going, and sometimes a block is hit, and then to look at it, to open the senses and be fully present with what is. So sometimes it's anger, sometimes it's sadness, sometimes it's stress, but it's all part of this experience that we're having, and it's all wanting to tell you something more about who you really are. To not run away from it and to let it transform you, I think that it enriches your life, and it's a beautiful process. And I hope with speaking on this that it makes people feel like you're not alone. You're not alone in doing this. And
Thank you. That's a beautiful answer. It has to do with embracing it even. And the journey is a journey, and it will take a long time, of course, but we cannot control a journey. The journey presents itself, whatever hurdles, whatever we have to learn. while we do it. So that's something so beautiful that you said that it's not like a key, it's an ongoing thing. And I completely agree with you on that one. As I stated before, life throws a lot of things at you and it's a journey. And we just keep on going through it and we see where we end up. And even then, it keeps on going, I think, for me personally. Keeps on going.
We die, we go on.
We go on, not here perhaps in another dimension, who knows? Buckle up, bitches.
Cat planet.
Oh my god, yeah. But Kimmy, I have this thing on this podcast, always at the end we ask an invitation. What do we invite the audience to take into consideration this month? In this case, it's the month of February 2026. And I have this question: what steps will you take, you personally, in your life to own more or fully own your sensuality and sexuality? Very short. What do you think you are going to challenge yourself with? Something fun, perhaps? What are you going to challenge yourself when it comes to sensuality and sexuality this month?
I think for me, the word I hear coming up, but I'm resisting it, but I know exactly why. It's always surrender. I keep sometimes fighting and swimming against the stream or freezing myself. But the moment I surrender, and I do this very practically seen with breath work or yoga, yes.
Yeah.
It really helps me to surrender fully in my body, and when I feel grounded in my body, I can surrender to whatever it is, that acceptance, and I can, that gives me my power back, and it gives me more life, and in that way it gives me more sensuality, more power, sexuality, more power to create, more inspiration. My energy flows again because I let it. Because I let it. And it's so easy to get caught up in the thought forms, in what I have to do, what I want. But just be and gratefulness. I think that's a very big thing which keeps me in the state of mind I want to be in. Yeah. Like this moment.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful.
Well, thank you for sharing. For me, this month, I would like to follow more my desires. And that's something that I've been very, my journey on that one. But for me, it's like following my desire while also being grounded. And as you said, I find the word surrender such a beautiful word. It comes with a negative connotation, but for me, something so beautiful. Surrender. It's like letting go. Let is. What needs to happen. Just allow it, And I think that inspires me very well. So I would put the three words: desire, surrender, and just explore, and just allow things in. For me, that's something so that I've been dealing with, of like, I don't feel sometimes that I deserve to, let things in, even though they come from a very positive place, a good intention, etc. I feel ashamed for even wanting them. So I want to challenge myself this month to basically have a desire, and when I have the desire also, while being grounded, of course, follow it and surrender to it and see what happens. I think that's something that will do me very well. Kimmy, my beautiful, inspirational Kimmy, I would like to thank you from the bottom of my chilly little heart. It's very small, people. Actually, it's very big. I always do that.
You always
I want to thank you for being here with me, for being this magical moment with me, for being part of this whole experience. It's the first of many to come, actually.
Yes.
We're gonna be.
I'm excited for it.
I'm excited for every single part of it. And before I leave and we say goodbye to the lovely audience that has been looking at my bob the whole time, I would like to ask you, what are you currently working on that you want to share with the audience?
Yeah.
Any projects, anything?
Yeah. So I'm working on Kimono Quest, and I'm currently... so, of course, I want to share also that I am going to talk about my love experience that I had, that I briefly mentioned before. But also an upcoming video is one that I actually had a full visual deprivation, sense deprivation. It was a darkness retreat. It was only 24 hours, but I had a mystical experience in that one, and it's actually already a while ago that I filmed this, but I really needed to integrate the process because it was so much to process, and it was very interesting, let me say that for sure. So if you are interested, follow the journey, and yeah, that's it. I feel a little bit awkward to promote myself, but
I know, but I'm forcing you to do it, bitch.
I know.
So you will do it, you know? 𝗏𝗡, thank you. I'm so grateful to have had you in this very, very special edition. And every time we work,
You're doing it.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Fuck it. We're fucking going for it, people. Just say fuck it and go for it. But 𝗏𝗡, I wanna give you all the gratitude and words of wisdom and love that you deserve, because you deserve it. I love you from the bottom of my heart. You know that. I see you. That's something that's very powerful. But I will say it. I see you. You don't worry if no one else. I see you, and I hope that you see yourself as well. And I hope you all see yourselves as well. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for tuning in this edition. Enjoy, I would say, everything. Make sure to follow us on our social, of course. For 𝗏𝗡, it would be Kim on a Quest on Instagram or even a YouTube channel. I will link it in the description below. And of course, Dictator of Art and Dictator of Art YouTube channel. I will link those as well in the link below. And of course, some of you are watching this right now via YouTube. Ha ha ha. But I want to thank you guys for everything. Remember, be good to yourself. And what are you going to invite yourself? What steps are you going to make or take in your life at this moment to truly own your sexuality and sensuality, to be liberated? Ask yourself that question this month, people. Without further ado, I wish you guys a very, very, very pleasant February. Enjoy Valentine's Day, and perhaps put on a lingerie and drink some tea and just dance for yourself and celebrate yourself sensually and sexually, of course. As always, remember, be the muse of your own life. Dictator of Art. Mwah. Bye!
Thank you for being on this journey with me. For my social media, check link below.
So, papi.
This is called bloopers, that should play. Bye, people.